Hello everyone, welcome back to this workshop, the voice modulation workshop with me, truly yours, Savvy. Welcome back. Every Sunday we do these. So what do we do here today? For those who are new, what I aim to do here is to give you some exercises, some methodology, and of course some theory so you can better understand your voice and better understand how you can warp it to your liking so that it might be more congruent with your gender or whatever presentation you want to do with your voice. Voice is fluid, it does not define you, you define your voice, and I will show you how today. So first and foremost, I do need to make some points regarding vocal health and vocal hygiene. First of all, if you use your voice, be sure to drink water 10 to 15 minutes before doing any voice work. That is because if you drink water, it will not hydrate your vocal cords, which we also call the vocal folds. The hydration process will happen through the blood flow, so be patient, drink ahead of time, and your voice will have a much easier time functioning in that regard. Another thing I mentioned is if you are working towards using your voice, you want to keep your voice hydrated, of course, but certain chemicals and certain substances are known to be dehydrating to the body. Typically, coffee, alcohol, and smoking. Terrible idea to do both at the same time. If you want to do smoking and voice work together, that's your thing, but you're going to quickly notice that it is quickly tiring on your voice. So maybe try to avoid things that can be dehydrating to the voice when you want to do voice work. Maybe the coffee right before voice work might not be the best idea. It's not impossible to use your voice in any of these settings, but it is just not recommended as your voice will get more tired and will have less hydration to work off of. Now, of course, other chemicals and more specifically medications such as hay fever medication, or in the case of those who take HRT, some of us might be taking spironolactone, and so spironolactone is known to be dehydrating to the body. So of course, do not stop taking whatever medication you're taking. You have it for a reason. Be responsible. Body autonomy reigns supreme, and you should take whatever you are taking for whatever reason you have. But if you can maybe try to take the medication that is dehydrating to the body, maybe like before sleep or early in the morning, so it doesn't affect you during your day, that's a good way to go about using your voice whilst working around these little hurdles. Now, that's just how voice is going to be used best, so be sure to always listen to your voice. Be sure to always listen if your voice loses some range. It's not a speed run, it's not a sprint, it's a marathon. So take your time and your voice will progress much faster that way. Now let's talk a little bit about what voice is about. So here behind me on those boards, you can see on the slides, you can see that voice is broken down in three main categories: the power, the source, and the filter. So voice functions very simply. We have air in our lungs. That air we move up the trachea, which is this tube, and then it reaches your voice box, which we call the larynx. Now, within the larynx, you can find little flaps, which are your vocal folds. Now, these open and close really quickly, several hundred times per second for certain pitches, and as they vibrate, they create a source sound. That source sound will then move up your pharynx, which is like this tube here, and it will then come out of your nose or out of your mouth, or both at once sometimes, and create a voice typically. So this whole part is your vocal tract, and it filters out the frequencies of your source sound. Now, this is where it gets important. You might have heard the word resonance thrown around, and this is what it refers to. The filtering of the source sound is what gives a voice resonance, or rather what gives a voice its texture. Now, if you have a really large space, your voice is going to sound a lot bigger, a lot darker, and a lot more masculine leaning. However, if you make that space much smaller, your voice ends up being a lot brighter and a lot more feminine leaning. And so modifying the size of the vocal tract is effectively modifying the gender perception of the voice. Of course, you still want to be aware that the vocal folds are still going to play a part, especially in terms of pitch, in terms of closure, and in terms of vocal weight. But we'll see a little bit more in detail why there is different parts of the source and why it matters. So again, quickly, we have air, we push it up, it sets little flaps in motion, they vibrate, they create a sound, and that sound will then get filtered out to become a darker sound with a bigger space, emphasis on the lower frequencies, or a smaller space with a brighter sound, emphasis on the higher frequencies of your voice. But I'm not here to like shove you into a particular masculine voice or a particular feminine voice. You know, there is a wide variety of voices, like high-pitched femme voices, medium femme voices, lower femme voices, the same way that there is higher masc voices, lower masc voices, and like really low boomy masc voices, right? So what really is important when it comes to voice? So of course, the filter size, the vocal tract size is the thing I mentioned at the start. That is really important. But what exactly are we trying to do? Like, we're not trying to like give you like a social change. Like, sure, you could like change your intonation, you could change the words, you could change the pacing, you know, you could use, I guess, more girly or masculine words if there is any in that sense, or like a way to speak. But no, here we are looking at what happens on a biological level. And typically what differentiates voices the most, what creates that dimorphism in terms of gender perception of the voice, is testosterone. And testosterone does three things to your voice when it affects it. First of all, your testosterone, if it affects you, if you have it present in your body, can do three things. The first thing it does is that it will drop your larynx and make the vocal tract size a lot bigger, thus making your voice a lot darker. The second thing that happens is that the vocal folds will grow longer, and by growing longer, they can vibrate a lot slower. So, then with this, you have like a really dark, big size, but really slow vibrating vocal folds, and thus you are already in a really masc voice. But the third thing that testosterone does to your body, and that is also present for like other parts of your body, is that it will increase the muscle mass, and your vocal folds are also partially muscle. So as your vocal folds receive that testosterone, they can grow thicker and like give you a much thicker, boomier masculine sound. And all of these three things together make your voice more masculine just through the exposure to testosterone. Now, if you revert all of these three things, you can achieve a more feminine leaning voice. And that's about it. So I hope it gives you a better understanding of voice and why it matters that we are changing our voices using some of these exercises. The sole goal is to avoid and counteract the effects of testosterone if you want to sound feminine, or to mimic the effects of testosterone if you want to sound more masculine. So what makes your voice more feminine? A smaller vocal tract, a generally higher pitch, and a generally softer voice, because we want to reduce that vocal fold mass to kind of tell the person you're speaking to, hey, my voice is not thick, so there's not that much muscle, so there's probably less testosterone, aka you sound more feminine leaning. And if you want to sound more masculine, the opposite will have to happen. You want to make your vocal tract a lot bigger by dropping your Adam's apple, by dropping your larynx, make your pitch go as low as possible, and if possible, like add some texture to like signify that muscle mass that you would have if testosterone affected your body to a certain amount. Now, that's all good and well, and I mentioned at the start that vocal health and vocal hygiene is really important. Another part I didn't mention is that vocal warm-up is something you really want to do. You're not going to go run the marathon without stretching your legs, are you? So, to do this, we're going to do some vocal warm-ups to use our voice. So for this, you can unmute yourselves and we'll do some warm-ups together. I'll go first, show you what to do, and then we can all try this together. Sounds good? Let's go. I'm going to do an O sound as in the word old. Oh. Let's try this in 3, 2, 1. Oh. Very good. Now let's try another sound. This time I'm going to do a Z sound as in the word zoo. I go first. Let's try this together in 3, 2, 1. Back down. right, very good. Let's do one last sound. This time we're going to trill our lips, do this sound. I go first. Now this one may be tricky, but let's try it anyways. In 3, 2, 1. All right, very good. Good job. Now, please mute yourselves again, and we'll move on to the next part of the workshop. So for those who are not aware, what I generally do is I get up on stage two people who want to masculinize or make their voices more androgynous, and two people who want to feminize their voices. So today I feel like starting with fem voice. So if you want to make your voice more fem, jump in place, or raise your hand, or use the hand emoji. All right, we're first to jump here and closest, Lisa Moon. Have you already been on stage before?
I have not. Hello.
You have not. All right, then please come up on stage. Everyone give a big round of applause to Lisa Moon. Woo! All right. Hello, welcome. Hi. All right, let me set a timer because I am terrible at keeping track of time. And I lost the app. I'm terrible at keeping track of my apps. Okay. Here goes. All right, Lisa, welcome. Hi. Hello.
Hi. Hello.
Is this the first time for you in one of these workshops, or you've been around a few?
I've watched countless in the past. I just never had the opportunity to actually like be here.
All right,
I mean, I've
that's
been
awesome.
in the audience, but not like on stage.
All right, very good. So welcome up on stage. Please do tell, are you familiar then, while I suppose if you've been watching these, you're quite familiar with the concepts of brightness, darkness, of the vocal tract size. You're probably also familiar with pitch. That's the easiest one to know about. And vocal fold mass to make your voice softer and all that stuff. So
Yes.
would you say you already have like a kind of voice in progress that you kind of got? Would you feel comfortable sharing it? No, not the case.
No, due to like privacy issues and whatnot, I've only been able to like silently watch these, like slightly practice along, but haven't really developed a proper voice yet, I guess, to train. Like I've done,
Okay,
like I
that's
know how to
perfectly
do
fine.
softies and whatnot, but like I've never
Good.
actually like worked on it.
Right. So softies are good for warm up. They won't exactly get you to fem voice. That's what
Right,
we're
right.
going to do right now. So, first and foremost, I just want to hear quickly, what does your voice sound like in terms of pitch? What kind of pitches you have available in your range? Can you please give me a slide from your, I don't know, lowest pitch up to your highest pitch? Give it a try.
All right, sorry.
Wow, okay.
Okay, broke into falsetto
Quite the
there.
range.
Oh, that's good.
Up to G5, well up in the fifth octave, you got nothing to worry about. You have quite the range. Oh, what I need you to do though, because I heard that the sound jump a little bit, could you please make sure that your
Oh.
sound settings are set so that your mic settings have the noise suppression turned off?
In
And also
theory,
make
they
sure,
already do.
yeah.
It's off. It's off.
Okay, what about the mic activation threshold? Is that down to 0% to the very left?
Oh, it's at 5. Okay, now it's at 0. My
Okay.
bad.
All right, that's all right. No worries. You're using like the VR headset
Yeah, I'm on the
microphone.
Quest,
Gotcha, gotcha. So we should be good. I don't know if it has like any active noise cancellation, but we will see anyways. All right, that's very good. Now the next part is to do some whispers. Do you know why we do the whispers?
yeah. Sorry?
We're going to do some whisper exercises
Oh, okay,
to
okay, yeah.
help your voice get brighter. So
Yeah, okay.
do you remember how these work and how we do them or why we do them?
Yeah. It's like the... Yeah. It's because if you feminize the whisper, you feminize the voice, etc., etc. And usually you go with the E, I think, but I guess that depends.
E? I don't exactly go for the E, but technically you can go for any vowel sound. The goal is
I'll
that
follow
if
your
you
lead.
want to raise your larynx, why raise your larynx? Well, you can technically like raise your tongue, and you kind of do that passively anyways when you do brighten the whisper. But like we try to keep the constant vowel sound. So if you decide to go for an E sound, that's fine. You could say like the word B, for example, really dark, B, and going B, 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 B. That works. I like to do the A sound because the tongue is like in a generally more neutral position, like their mouth is quite big and open, and you really rely on the larynx height mostly rather than like moving your tongue around. I know some people like use different sounds, A, O, A, E. You can like use different like words if you want. But if you do try to brighten a sound, more specifically a vowel sound, it's good to like keep the same starting sound and the same end sound. So if you're going to go from an A sound, end up in a brighter A sound. Don't end up like, oh, and here end up like on an E sound, as in bit, like bitten, you know? So let's try just that. I want you to say the words pat that cat on a whisper, like so. Pat that cat. Try it out.
On normal voice, I guess. For now.
Well, just a whisper. So I suppose,
Okay.
yeah, like a darker
right,
whisper.
Yeah, my bad.
No worries, you're fine.
Pat, cat.
Very good. Pat that cat. Not as dark as like a pat that cat. So it's good that you're aware, first of all, that you're not like at your darkest potential. Why do I say this? I say this so that you don't expect to move as many steps up as I do. If I start here, pa, 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 of course I'm going to have a lot of steps. But if you start here, pa, 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 you're going to have less steps to do. Okay? Just keep that in mind. So now try to do a really dark pat, like Darth Vader. Pat that cat. Pat that cat. Pat that cat. Very good. You should feel your larynx all the way down in your neck. Pat that cat. And now we're going to make the pat go higher. So, pat, 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 pat. All right, very good. Pat that cat. And our next part we want to do is to bridge that whisper from a whisper into a breathy sound into a normal voice or balanced phonation, so the vocals are properly vibrating. So from this bright pat, pat that cat. Try it out.
Oh boy. Pat that cat.
Yes, that sounds very good. Good job. And now can we try to say the sentence? Pat that mad brat sat on that flat mat.
Sorry. Pat that cat. That mad brat sat on that flat mat.
Very good. Careful here. And that mad brat sat on that flat mat. You kind of like went down to like a lower pitch, and your voice got also like a little bit thicker. So you might want to like make that softer. That mad brat sat on that flat mat, like softer. Push less air so it can be a bit softer. I'm gonna try it once more.
Okay, sorry.
Okay.
I'm recovering from a cold, I guess, so it's kind of.
Oh, I'm sorry. I did not know that. Okay.
No, that's
Yeah, maybe
okay.
you're not in the best state to do this, but this is already really good. You're doing the brightness really well. Okay.
Okay, I'll try again.
One more attempt.
Okay.
All right. Pat.
Yeah. Yeah, it's kind of bad.
Oh, okay. You got this.
Pat that cat. That mad brat sat on that flat mat. Oh,
That's very good. That mad rat sat on flat mat. However, like
Yeah,
the
it's
pitch is
still-
like I wouldn't say the pitch is the issue. It's just like a little bit thicker leaning. Like the very first attempt was really good. Pat.
Yeah, no, it's the it's the cold thing, I think.
Yes, so something about the cold, by the way. If you Yes, much softer. Very
Yes,
good. Okay, so one thing about the cold is what happens with your vocal folds when you are sick or whenever you have a cold, especially if it affects the voice, your vocal folds will get inflamed. When they get inflamed, they actually kind of beef up a bit more. And so because they beef up, it can be harder to like soften them because there's literally like some mass you can't remove because they're like irritated from the disease or whatever sickness you got. So if sometimes your voice is not cooperating because you're sick, maybe the problem could be because you're sick. So don't hold it against yourself. You can still try to achieve some amount of softness, even if you're a little bit sick or recovering from a sickness still. But yes, otherwise, that was really good. You directly went into that bright sound. That was really good. The main issue was really the vocal fold mass, which kind of like was a little bit thicker at times, probably because you still are recovering from a sickness. My recommendation would be to like try to practice a really soft voice, even in your mask range. Like let's say you talk down here, which you don't, by the way. Like you could try to like say that mad brat sound in a flat mat, but try to soften that. So, that mad brat sound on that flat mat, because that already kind of like primes your voice to be like softer, and then once you move higher, that mad brat, you already are prepared to like have a softer voice that uses a bit less air and can sound softer. That's my recommendation. But our time is up. You did really well, Lisa, for someone who didn't practice before. I mean, maybe you did some practice,
a
but
little bit,
that
but
was
not
really
a
good.
lot.
Okay, yeah, well, just keep that up. Record yourself, listen back to yourself. Just keep working at it. But like, this is a really positive start. I hope to hear some more of that. Yeah. Best of luck with your practice. And everyone, please give a big round of applause to Lisa Moon. You killed it. Woo!
Thank you so much.
You're super welcome. Bye. All right, now next up on stage, let's alternate the voice types. Anyone who wants to sound more masculine leaning, please jump in place or raise your hand or use the hand emoji. For those who want to make their voices more masculine, or perhaps those who want to make their voices sound more androgynous, please raise your hand or jump. All right. Going once, going twice, going thrice. Oh, we got someone here. Fallen Kaiser, have you already been on stage before?
No.
All right, then come up on stage. Come on, come on. Everyone give a big round of applause to Fallen Kaiser. Woo! All right, I must say this avatar is a vibe. So, all right, let's go. I set a timer. Here we go. Hi, Fallen. Welcome. First time in one of these workshops?
No.
You've been around a bit?
Yeah.
All right, then please voice me. What objectives do you have for your voice?
Just like whenever like I try listening back to it, it sounds like a lot feminine and not so much masculine.
Would you say that you've done some practice prior to this, like practice to like darken your voice, lower the pitch, maybe try to like thicken your voice, or you kind of like try to wing it and like let's try to go mask, but like you had no like proper guidance, or you still did
Yeah.
some things.
Like did it but didn't have proper guidance.
All right, then let's look at this. I want to hear a slide from your highest pitch down to your lowest pitch so I can kind of gauge what kind of range we're working with. So let's try this. Ah, as low and comfortable as you can go. Give it a try. Oh, F3, very good. Okay. All right. That's something we can work with. All right. Now, as you might have seen before with Lisa here, that was on stage earlier, we brightened her voice and made it sound more feminine by going from a dark whisper to a pop, 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 to a bright whisper. In your case, we're going to want to do the opposite. We want to mimic the effects of testosterone, aka in this case, we want to mimic having a bigger vocal tract. We want to signify that your body is bigger and larger. And so to do this, we want to go from a bright whisper to a dark whisper. What you can also do is use your hand in real life and just put them on your neck and just feel for a little bump there. Can you feel the bump on your neck?
Yes.
All right, that would be your Adam's apple. Now, what I want you to do is just like keep it there, keep your hand there, just laying gently on your neck. And I want you to give me a whisper on the words pat that cat, like so. Pat that cat.
Pat that cat.
All right, very good. And now we're going to take the pat and we're going to make it darker and darker with each step. Pat, 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 pat that cat. Try it out.
Pat, 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 pat.
Very good. Pat. Now, if you had your hand on your neck, did you feel your Adam's apple move down as you did that?
Yes.
All right, very good. So far, we agree that you went from a bright and more leaning femme whisper, pat, pat, cat, towards a pot, towards a darker, more masculine leaning whisper. Okay? So now the next step would be to bridge from that dark whisper, pot, into a dark voice. Oh, pat that cat. Right? So what's the lowest pitch you gave me again? I believe it was an F3. It's about here. So I want you just to do that pitch real quick for me. Okay. All right, very good. And now we're gonna do a whisper. So we're gonna go back to that dark pat whisper. Pat, 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 pat. Pat, 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 pat. Good. And now we're gonna go whisper, a breathy, balanced voice. Pat that cat. Try it out. Pat that cat. All right, very good. And how can I try and speak with bit with this? Like, just say the sentence or read the sentence here. Pat that cat. That mad brat sat on that flat mat. Try it out. That mad brat sat on that flat mat. All right, very good. That mad brat sat on that flat mat. Towards the end, that mad brat sat on that flat mat. You got it a little bit brighter, right? So that means that your voice kind of like got closer to your like baseline voice. That's a bit brighter, a bit more feminine. That mad brat sat on that flat mat, right? It moves a bit brighter. So this is why it's important to like listen to your body and listen to your voice and notice that, hey, you have like a hard-coded behavior, right? Like you've been using a femme-leaning voice for most of your life and you kind of like have to fight against that behavior a little bit. The more you do it, the more your body is going to be like, okay, I understand. I commit masc voice to muscle memory and it becomes more normal to use over time. Now, that mad brat sat on a flat mat. That sound we just did there, is that the first time you're able to do such a dark sound? That mad brat sat on that flat mat.
Yeah.
Okay, very good. So like here, yeah, like kind of here, yeah. Let's start to make that yeah really dark. Yeah. So we take the word yeah and we'll make it into a whisper. Yeah. Small whisper. Try it out. Yeah. Let's try this now. Yeah. Big dark whisper. Yeah. Good. And now from this, yeah. We bridge here. Yeah. Yeah. Try it out. Yeah. Oh, so, oops, that was like muted. So you went from you went for like a higher pitch, but still darker. Yeah. So I know it's tricky because like you're watching and listening for both how dark you are, but also how high or how low in pitch you are. So you're juggling with these two parameters. Now, the things that I would say are perhaps lacking here to your practice is not darkness. You're able to stay quite dark and like have this really hollow sound. The thing that you're gonna want to do is see how far down in pitch you can go. Let's try this. Yeah. Let's try to go gradually lower and lower and lower and see how far we can go. All right, give it a try.
Yeah.
Yeah. Can you hold that a bit? Yeah. Some more?
Yeah.
You went a bit higher. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes, very good. Okay, so just to give you an idea, that's not the right slide. Ha ha ha. Just to give you an idea, has the slide loaded for you here? Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, yeah. Ooh, you got it. Yeah, cool. Yeah, awesome. You started to get the grip of it, the hang of it. So we started as F3 being your lowest pitch. That's what you showcased when you did the right? And now you went from went all the way down to D3. So you went like F3, E3, D sharp 3, D3, right? So that just shows to me that you're not like completely conscious and like not conscious, that's not the right word to use, but like you're not proficient and like knowledgeable on what your range is at the lower pitches. Otherwise you would directly have gone for the lowest pitch, right? So like what I would recommend is try to play around, explore how low you can go, especially using like a pitch monitor. I can't tell the pitch on top of out of my head, right? I have like an app on my phone which you can't see that shows me what pitch I'm at if I just speak into it. So like here your lowest is D3, and so yeah, like you can be like as dark as you want at high pitches. It's still gonna sound not cartoonish, but like most masc voices don't speak that high in pitch. Even if that still sounds masculine, it sounds like kind of like a singer or like a bit more flamboyant. It's also because I have like a really well intonated voice. Like the pitch moves around a lot. It's not like monotonous like you would mostly hear in masc voices, right? So like play around and see if you can bring the yeah lower and then like try to speak as low as possible. So my recommendation is to try and play around to see how low you can go in pitch, to make your voice darker whilst maintaining that low pitch, and then from there start to speak and use your voice. You're gonna start with like in theory you can like do a voice that's around here like this, that's a bit softer. So for at first your voice is going to be softer, it's going to be tricky to like keep it dark and keep it at the low pitch, but over time it's going to become easier and easier, and then you're going to probably want to like increase the vocal weight a little bit, just like add a bit more texture, more oomph to it, and then yeah, like that's already like a good start for a masc voice. So really star points for achieving a really dark resonance, or really dark sound. That's really good. You did well in that front. I would say to become more familiar with the pitches, use a pitch monitoring app, see how far you can take it, and then try to stay stable down there, practice a little bit, listen back to yourself, and I'm sure in no time, whenever you're going to listen back to your voice in the recording, it's going to sound very different. Okay? Any questions, Fallen Kaiser?
No.
All right. Well, you slayed it. Can I get a yeah? Yeah, you slayed it. Yeah, dark. Yeah. Yeah. Awesome. All right, everyone, give a big round of applause to Fallen Kaiser. Woo! All right, I'll see you around. All right, next up on stage, I want to see someone who wants to make their voices more feminine. Ooh, that was a fast way to say this. So if you want to make your voice femme, all right. Do you Magic Chibi Bunny, you want to go on stage?
Sure, I didn't mean to walk forward, but okay.
Well, I mean, you did jump in place quite a lot. Oh, we got a magic one here on stage. What's happening here? All right, everyone, give a round of applause to Magic Chibi Bunny. Woo!
You can just call me Bunny.
All right, then just a bunny. That's fine to me. All right, Bunny meets Bunny. Hello, welcome. I'm starting the timer now. First time in one of these workshops, Bunny?
First time on the stage here.
Oh, wow. Okay, welcome on stage. Hi, hi. All right, how about you let me know what brings you up here on stage?
I want to learn how to make my voice more feminine, especially to the point of the voice goal I have.
All right. Would you say you have like a specific goal in mind, like a more higher pitched voice, a lower fem voice, a medium fem voice, or just like any fem voice, really?
A rather high-pitched voice based on a character from an anime.
Okay. I will say, careful. Anime is generally Japanese. Japanese has their own culture of voice. Might not quite align with like Western cultures. Like you're gonna see that like it's quite uncanny to have exactly like the same pitch, the same brightness in English as you might have in anime. Also, careful. Anime voice actresses are well. For one, they like have been speaking with a femme voice their whole life, but they're also comedians, so they are like well versed in the art of modifying their voices themselves. So, like, if you're starting from like a beginner level, I would say be careful because that objective is like really far off. It's not impossible, but I would say like it can be a bit like unreasonable to like directly want to jump to this. However, we can already go for a femme voice that's high pitched by like more Western standards, and then from there you can maybe build up to a more anime sounding voice. Okay?
Okay.
All right, all good. First of all, I want to hear a slide from your lowest pitch up to your highest pitch. See what kind of range we're working with. All right,
Alright.
something like oh, try it out.
Okay. Oh.
Okay, up here. What's the pitch actually? Like a G5. Okay, well in the fifth octave. Very good. So you have quite the range. Very good. All right. But let's see. Next one that I want to do is get your voice to be brighter. So before I get into this, you've been around the workshops a bit. So let me ask you this: have you done some practice of your own, Bunny? Like, do you like already have a voice in progress kind of thing, or just completely starting?
Several practices. I've gotten pretty close, but yeah, I still need to work on it heavily. But most of the time, my best vocal work in feminine comes from singing, but I'm trying to get that outside of singing, of course.
Very good. Look at this. So would you say, I mean, like, in a sense, singing and speaking kind of close, but not really. So, like, they're quite different. So I can see why you would want to go more a speech way. The way I like to go about this is first, you notice I start monotonous with my with like voice work because monotony allows us to eliminate one of the variables. You have noticed that voice is a lot of dimensions. It's low pitch and high pitch. Is really bright or really dark. It's really thin or really thick, right? It's really breathy or really creaky. And so, like, generally, the voice has like a lot of dimensions. Removing as many dimensions as possible is a good way to like focus on one aspect at a time, especially if you're just starting out. But you're not just quite starting out, so let's see what you can do. How would you go about making your voice brighter to start with? You heard some of the whispers exercises. Do you do some of these?
Not really. My brain doesn't really do routines very well, so I just kind of jump into it half the time.
That's super valid. No worries whatsoever. So let's just try to jump for a high pitch first and then see if we need to adjust that brightness. Okay, so what high pitch can we go for? Da 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 da. Let's aim for an A3. All right. Try it out. Okay, A sharp 3. And from here, can we say, that mad brat sat on that flat mat.
That mad brat sat on that flat mat.
All right, very good. To your credit here, that mad brat sat on that flat mat. It's already very bright. If it wasn't, it would sound something like, oh, that mad brat sat on that flat mat like an opera singer. That's not your case. So you're definitely making your voice already bright. Very good. Now, I suppose the next part is if your voice is already bright, whilst you do a single monotonous pitch? Will it stay bright if you change and move the pitch around? Let's try the following. I want you to try this. Ah, that mad brat sat on that flat mat. Going upwards.
That mad brat sat on that flat mat.
Beautiful. And now let's try to go down. From the high pitch you ended up on. That mad brat sat on that flat mat.
That mad brat sat on that flat mat.
Very good. What I would say here, little nitpick here. That mad brat sat on that flat mat. It's maybe slightly leaning thicker, like So you might want to make it slightly softer from that mad brat sat on that flat mat towards more of a that mad brat sat on that flat mat.
Okay. That mad brat sat on that flat mat.
Very good. That's a lot softer. All right, and now let's do a more normal sounding intonation. That mad brat. So that mad brat.
That mad brat sat on that flat mat.
Careful here. That mad brat. We started way too low. Down at C3. We actually started
Right, sorry,
earlier at no, that's okay. No worries. That's totally
Sorry.
fine. Don't you worry. All right, match my pitch here. That mad.
That mad.
Careful here. The pitch up was good, but that careful. The starting point is always
Yeah.
low. I think it's because you're relying a little bit too much on like your usual behavior of voice. You gotta like kind of
Really working
imagine
on
in your.
that.
Okay, try to imagine the sound in your head. Okay, let's see. If I say never gonna give you up, never gonna let you down, does your brain self-correct to the correct melody?
Never gonna give you up, never gonna let you down.
Down. Very good. Never gonna turn around, desert you. Cool. So, if you are able to do this, it means that you have in your brain a stored version of that song, right? However precise that is.
Yeah, practically
So-
memorized actually.
Exactly. So what I'm asking you to do here is to like commit to short-term memory. And I know it's not necessarily easy, the kind of sound. If I ask you to close your eyes and imagine an apple, unless you have aphantasia, you're going to be able to see the apple with some amount of detail. But if I tell you to correct Never Gonna Give You Up, and you then correctly sing it just like you did, that means that you're able to kind of not visualize but audiate the sound. So you're able to like emulate a ghostly version in your brain of that sound, however conscious that is, right? And so if you do something like that mad brat sat on that flat mat, in my head I kind of play the melody. Then I try to follow along. And if I play this melody in my head, that mad brat, and then I try to go, that mad brat, I'm like, oh, I already hear directly like a mismatch between what I had in my head, like what I heard in my head, kind of like emulated, and what I just did, right? So, like, try to, if I had just asked you to mimic the pitch, for example, try it out. All right. Now, what I want you to do is listen to the pitch I'm going to do. You're going to mimic the pitch I'm going to do. But before you mimic the pitch, I want you to pay attention to how your throat configures itself, how like your Adam's apple might move, how the tensions change. Very good. You definitely felt something move there. And your body and your muscle memory kind of knows where to go, right? So again, this time going to the high pitch. Pay attention to how it gets in place. And then very good. So now from there, if I say that mad brat, you think mad brat, and you kind of like get ready for that very first pitch. Take the time to set up your voice before even saying it. Try it out.
Okay. That mad brat sat on that flat mat.
Very good. Except for the very end, that mad vrchat on the flat mat. It kind of reverted lower in pitch,
Yeah,
but the
that
start was
happens a
good.
lot. It happens a lot, I
That's
know.
okay. That's okay. This is where you want to be really careful to listen to your voice. So, our
Yeah.
time is up, but my main recommendation for you is to kind of like become a bit more attuned to like that ability to imagine sound and to kind of like access the sound in terms of like muscle memory before actually phonating it, before actually pushing the voice out. Okay. So, like,
Okay.
this has yielded good results in terms of directly setting up your voice. All you want to do is be able to commit it to a longer period of time. And over time, your muscle memory is going to become more reliable and better and better. So you barely
All
need
right.
to worry about brightness. One thing I'd say you need to worry about is the pitch, of course, but also careful with the vocal fold mass. You do tend to sound quite heavy. That's quite normal if you like speak with a masc voice that has like an average weight. When you adapt it to a fem voice, but don't make the voice sound softer, then it will sound thicker. So just remember to be softer and to not
Right.
let the pitch trail down too far. Right. Lovely right sound here. So yeah, you just got it. All right. Magic Chibi Bunny. Or for short, Bunny. Very good job. Everyone give a big round of applause to Bunny. Woo! All right, you killed it. Good luck with your voice work. And last but not least, up on stage, I want to see someone who wants to make their voices more masculine or androgynous. So please jump in place or raise your hand if you want to make your voice more masculine or more androgynous. All right. Do we got anyone going once, going twice, going thrice? All right. I guess we're doing extra fem voice. In that case, if you want to make your voice more feminine leaning, please raise your hand, jump in place, or use the hand emoji. All right. Do we got anyone? All right, here over there. Senpai noticed me. Very good name. Very. All right, come on stage. Big round of applause for Senpai noticed me. Woo! All right. Hello, welcome. You have been noticed. Hello.
Thank you.
All right, I started the timer. So, you've been around the workshop a little bit, or this is the first time for you?
A little bit. First time on stage.
All right, very good. So, I'm already hearing a lot of femininity in your voice. How about you let me know what kind of stuff you'd like to know about fem voice and what kind of things you want to do?
I want to see just how far I could take it. I do have trouble projecting it. It just tends to stay a little quiet.
Right. Like I have trouble projecting it. It like sounds kind of quiet. Like I'm kind of hearing like there's like a bit of creak in your voice. Like your vocals are like mostly staying closed. I can tell that you're not pushing your voice really loud because your vocal folds are more creak leaning. So it means that you're not pushing more air. Would you say that if you push your voice louder, that it tends to get like thicker, or maybe that's why you avoid that loudness? Or would you say that you just avoid it altogether because you associate loudness to more masc voice? Kind of like what happens if you try to go loud is my question, I guess.
It tends to push a little downward, a little closer to my natural speaking voice.
All right, gotcha. So, well, then in that case, to my natural speaking voice. All right. All right, so what I think we'll do, we'll just go for like normal sounding sentences. And we'll just like go through them a little bit, just so I can hear your voice a bit and get a better idea of it. And then we'll try to take those sentences and make them sound louder and louder and louder. So, start first with that sentence. Hello, good morning. How are you? Give it a try.
Hello, good morning. How are you?
All right. Hello, good morning. How are you? Very good, very soft, very bright, really gentle, high in pitch. Nice. All right. Hello, good morning. How are you? All right. Now pretend like I'm a bit further away and I gotta hear you. You're a bit further away. Could you try to like push your voice slightly more? So like from hello, good morning. How are you? To hello, good morning. How are you?
Hello, good morning. How are you?
Sounds good to me. All right, let's try to push it even more. I'm even further away. Can you can you hear me? All right, let's try this again. I'm further away. Hello, good morning. How are you?
Hello, good morning. How are you?
All right, so I think that was about the same loudness. So how do we get your voice to be louder? You might have noticed that the further I went away, the higher in pitch I went. That is because our ears are not perfect microphones. Like, yes, if you think about your ears, they're kind of like microphones. They're like membranes that vibrate. But so why do I say that? Well, that's because they're not exact microphones in the sense that they perceive higher frequencies as louder than what they actually are. That's why it's even like if my voice is really soft, like if my voice is really soft up at like at this pitch, and it's like really soft down at this pitch, even if it's like perceptually like even if it's like the same loudness physically, like the same amounts of like air pressure being moved, etc., it's not the same perceptual loudness, right? You don't hear like this voice as loudly as this voice just because higher pitches tend to like have your membranes vibrate faster. So higher pitches is a good way to sound louder without having to actually physically move more air and like move more sound, right? So from like a hello, good morning to hello, good morning. Higher pitches really help you out here. Also, if you go for high pitches, you don't need to be crazy thick. I mean, yes, you could go from like a hello, good morning to a hello, good morning. But then you would have that buzziness, that extra vocal fold mass that makes you sound louder. And that's not like the nicest sound to have. And to the person you're speaking to, they're going to hear the increase in vocal weight and they're going to hear that buzziness and be like, that's strange. It sounds a little bit thicker. Like either they're going to be like, it's cartoonish, or they can be like, it's more like not masculine leaning because like you're already really bright and high in pitch, but you get the idea. So higher pitches is a good way to go about this. Let's try to do this together. Mimic after me. Hello, good morning.
Hello, good morning.
All right, careful, we hear down. We're here. Hello, good morning. We're at G3. Okay, let's move up in pitch here. Hello, good morning at G3. All right, let's move up. To A3. Hello, good morning.
Hello, good morning.
Hello. Okay, we're like kind of here in the middle. Hello, good morning. Hello, good morning.
Hello, good morning.
Good. Up to B3. Hello, good morning.
Hello, good morning.
Beautiful. C4. Hello, good morning.
Hello, good morning.
Nice. D4. Hello, good morning.
Hello, good morning.
Hello, good morning. You actually went sharp here. So like, hello, good morning. D4 again. Hello, good morning.
Hello, good morning.
Very good. Awesome. So like, now let's compare like this hello, good morning, and this hello, good morning.
Hello, good morning. Hello, good morning.
Already sounds louder. Do you feel like you're pushing more effort? Like, are you putting more effort in your voice here, or is it like about average? Same amount?
A little more effort.
Okay, it's a bit more effort. So generally here, the effort shouldn't be like physical, like unless you're going like, hello, good morning, right? The effort should be more like in a matter of like keeping your voice stable at like this new pitch that's generally higher than what you usually speak at. Hello, good morning, how are you? But with practice, you can make that a bit more easy. So now try to be loud with that pitch. Like try to go really soft first, like, hello, good morning. Try to really soft. Hello, good morning.
Hello, good morning.
Good. Hello, 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 hello. Hello, good morning. Normal volume.
Hello, good morning.
All
Hello,
right, and
good morning.
yes. And now let's try to go loud. Hello, hello, hello. Hello, good morning.
Hello, good morning.
All right. Hello, good morning. All right, it's been a little bit lower in pitch, but that's okay. Hello, good morning. How are you?
Hello, good morning. How are you?
All right, very good. And now let's try to move the pitch around. Hello, good morning. How are you?
Hello, good morning. How are you?
That's very good. Nice. So now you're like using lower pitches and higher pitches. Not only is your voice sounding well intonated, like "Hello, good morning, how are you?" but you also sound louder on the words that matter, like "Good morning" and "How are you?" Right? "Good morning, you" is what comes out in the meaning. But still, that is getting your voice a bit louder. Using higher pitches helps to be noticed more perceptually. Then again, there's the other thing of like, I suppose socially, we don't tend to hear women get loud in our society. So that's kind of the problem of like patriarchy and just like, how voices are present in the social space. But you can still be somewhat loud if you use higher pitches. Again, like that's up to you to decide how loud you want to be. But yeah, like you could try this for different sentences. Let's just say, "I'll have a cup of coffee, please." Normally, try it out. "I'll have a cup of coffee, please."
I'll have a cup of coffee, please.
Now we're in a loud cafe, a lot of noise. You got to go, "I'll have a cup of coffee, please." Just go for a higher pitch.
I'll have a cup of coffee, please.
Very good. That's much easier to hear. All right, this one I hardly see how it could be a part of like a loud sound. Ugh, I forgot to take my hormones. Everyone has to know about this. Ugh, I forgot to take my hormones. No one cares. But I suppose you could try that too.
Ugh, I forgot to take my hormones.
Let's try it loud and higher in pitch. Ugh, I forgot to take my hormones, drama queen. Ah.
Ugh, I forgot to take my hormones.
All right, very good. Not as, loud as the other ones, but I suppose context here makes it a bit more difficult. But yeah, here you go. Using those higher pitches definitely is what you would want to use for like being a little bit more loud, to sound more projected. Also, because it's generally harder to be thicker at high pitches. Not impossible. You can still go, "Hello, good morning," and go like, "Hello, good morning, how are you?" But I'm like really pushing for it. Generally speaking, it's quite difficult to get to that heaviness at such high pitches. So like, if you go for higher pitches, generally it's much easier to like avoid that buzziness, and you sound generally louder as you push a bit higher in pitch. So that's one way for you to go. And also that does stretch your whole range of voice, makes your intonation ranges a bit more interesting and a bit more versatile. So it also answers that very first question you had, which was, I want to see how far I can go. Well, try to push towards those higher pitches. Use these higher pitches as part of your voice. Not just as like an isolated loud thing like, "Hello, good morning, how are you?" but also as a way to like incorporate that to your like lower voice, "Hello, good morning, how are you?" "Hello, good morning, how are you?" Right? Like to have like a wide amplitude, a wide intonation. All right? So
Alright,
here's my
thank you.
advice for you. You're super welcome. Everyone give a big round of applause to Senpai. Woo! All right, that was really good. And we're about close to the end on the clock, actually. Could have ended a bit earlier, I know. But hey, 1B, Rory, do you have any questions from either Twitch or from the Discord server? Okay. Wait, sorry. I thought I was saying. Wait, what did you say? Okay, cool. Sorry, I thought you said thank you for keeping my boys healthy. I was like, what? Okay, so tips for keeping your voice healthy. Cool. Very simple. Listen to your voice. If your voice seems to lose range at the higher pitches, or maybe at the lower pitches, but that's more unlikely. If you lose your pitches at higher, like if you lose your higher pitches at like the higher ranges of pitches, that's generally a sign that your voice is getting fatigued. Please don't try to do these high pitches. Rest your voice. You'll be able to do more tomorrow. Like do the softies, like do the warm-ups, like at the start of your day, 10 to 15 minutes after drinking water, but do not use your voice at all before that. If you can, of course. Try to use the softie at the end of the day as well. It kind of helps your voice cool down. It's kind of like, see it as like yoga. You use your voice the entire day. And because you use your voice the entire day, it's now tired. So you can do some more of those gentle, the lip trails or the V sounds, or a Z sound. Pretty much anything that's not the right slide. Pretty much anything that's gonna close the mouth, sorry, that's the wrong one. Anything that's gonna cause like some closure at the level of the mouth, basically, as it will create pressure here, which counteracts the pressure of the lungs a little bit. So it makes the phonation and the vibration of the vocal folds a bit easier for you. So that's about it. Avoid coffee, avoid alcohol, avoid too much sugar, as they're known to be dehydrating to the body. I've also seen that you might want to avoid dairy products because they're known to make the mucus of your vocal folds a bit thicker. But you know, I love cheese, I love milk, so this for me, you know, that's an advice I don't apply. But if you want to, like, you know, maybe avoid drinking milk during practice. It doesn't specifically hinder your voice. It doesn't even dehydrate your voice. It just makes the mucus thicker, like of your vocal fold. So a thicker mucus means that it's a mucus that's gonna be less cooperative with the vibration of your vocal folds, generally speaking. But yeah, that's pretty much the advice I have for keeping your voice healthy. Warm up, stay hydrated, avoid things that dehydrate your voice, and that's about it. So hope that has been helpful to you. All right, do you have other questions? Any questions from the Discord, perhaps? That's a no. Okay. All right. Maybe I'll take one question from the audience and then I'll wrap it up. If you have any questions, please come closer and I'll try to answer to the best of my abilities. Anyone wants to ask a question? Maybe not. Maybe that's too daunting. I would understand. Oh, we got one question. All right, come close. Come close to the stage so everyone can hear you.
Hi there. So I was just asking, male to female, how do you get that lowest lows? Like, you're struggling to break that lowest barrier.
Male to female, so masculine to feminine.
Apologies, female to male. My bad.
Okay, gotcha. I was like, are you asking for like a really low femme voice? Because that's absolutely a mood I'm willing to answer. Okay, so femme to masc, gotcha. So femme to masc, what was your question about then? About getting like the lowest or?
Correct. So just for me, for example, I feel like this is my lowest, but I want to get lower. So I was just trying to figure out how to get to that point.
All right, like your lowest, like I want to get lower. So like you're kind of like around here. That's actually pretty impressive already. Like we're like around like a C3, like going a little bit dipping into the second octave. That's pretty good. Yeah. Like I would recommend like using creak a bit more because creak helps you find closure more. Like your vocal folds are like literally more closed when you creak. Like right? Your vocal folds are like really relaxed as you do this, and you can like try to explore lower and lower pitches like this. Then the next step of this is to like try to add a bit more weight to this. So when you have creak like that, it's a bit more tricky because as you try to add weight, you're generally going to find that you kind of like jump to a higher pitch, like right as you add weight. So here what's important is to try to like add that creak, so find that closure and add more air as you do. So like for example for me, like I would say like a comfy low pitch for me is down here. But what if I wanted to like experiment like like down here, right? Like these pitches are not super textured in my case, so I would try to like to like add more weight
and then like try to push more air through this, so to be able to like use.
Okay, it also helps to stay dark, of course, so
Then like push more air through this, and then I get this like really low pitch, like so. And if you keep doing this like long enough, like it's gonna slowly commit to muscle memory. The whole thing is like it's very unstable at first because, you know, they like the vocals are like vibrating really slowly, and if you like push too much air, like they're just gonna like be breathy, or like the voice is gonna like stop, you know. So like yeah, it's kind of like
walking like on a thin line. So like it's a matter of like keeping closure, keeping dark. Of course, that's a given, because that darkness, that bigger vocal tract size, helps to emphasize, not helps to emphasize, but helps to keep those lower pitches being produced.
And then like you can like achieve like those really like low pitches over time. So yeah.
Actually, I don't know if I ever sounded that low before, but
yeah, like there's quite some cool things to do down here. Yeah, absolutely.
yeah, I hope that answers your question. So like Creek is a great way to explore, also because it's really relaxed. There's less risk to like, you know, fatigue your voice, right? Unless you're like really breathy, or if you have like constriction of the false vocal folds, which can be sometimes something you want to like find that that distortion in your voice, like
if you want to do like a really distorted voice, you can like use the false vocal folds, but like
it's not necessary per se. So yeah, I would say as long as you don't have a distortion in your voice, Creek, adding more air but keeping stable with that is the way to go to find lower pitches. And the other thing is, like, unfortunately, there might be some limitations to how much testosterone has affected your body. But I don't know, like, I feel like it's a bit iffy because I see, like, metal screamers that are, like, AFAB and have apparently no exposure to testosterone, like, to their knowledge, and they're able to, like shred low in pitch. So, yeah, take it with a grain of salt. I know testosterone makes things more easy, but it's not the all end of things. So yeah, hope that advice helps you out, Katori.
Yes, thank you very much. You have a good night.
You're super welcome. All right. Well then, I'm about to wrap it up. I hope that you all enjoyed this workshop. Thank you so much, 1B, and thank you so much, Rory, for helping me host this one today. I hope I wasn't too long. But hey, everyone, please say bye to YouTube. Please say bye to Twitch. Bye, YouTube. Bye, Twitch. Bye-bye. See you next Sunday. Bye-bye. All right. With that done and out of the way, well, if you enjoyed this session, I do these every Sunday, unless I say that I'm not doing these, but they are happening every Sunday at this time. So if you missed your chance to go up on stage today, you'll have another one next Sunday, or the Sunday after, or the Sunday after, whatever it is. Perhaps if you want to work more on your voice, you can like join my Discord server, Scientifically Augmented Voice. You can click on my bio and here in vrchat and find a link that directly brings you to it if you'd like to join it. Why would you want to do this? Well, because I have a community that helps you work with your voice, but also I do public lessons over there sometimes, so you can listen into those and get even more voice work in and more knowledge for you to get your voice more femme or masculine or androgynous. Also, if this public setting is a bit iffy for you, you might want to like schedule a private lesson with me. Just hit me up on Discord at savvy_sav, all in lowercase, just like it's written here, but just lowercase, and we can discuss pricing and scheduling over there. All right. With that all said, let me wrap up. Hey everyone, I'm Savvy. I teach voice feminization,
voice masculinization.
I teach voice androgynization as well, voice acting, singing, and a fun thing called human beatboxing with sounds such as... So if you want to learn any of this, you can always shoot me a message on Discord. I already said all of that, so you know where to find me. All right. Thank you again, Wendy. Thank you again, Rory. And thank you all for coming here today. I'll be seeing you around next Sunday. In the meantime, take care of yourselves, don't get sick, and yeah, keep up the good voice work. All right, see y'all around. Bye, everyone.